Hi everyone, my name's Majira. So, I don't know why, but I cannot go to a con anymore without getting freaking con crud. It's really annoying. I literally got sick a month ago and I'm sick again. What is happening? Anyway, I'm just sitting here in my Made For You shirt, non-sponsored, but like, hit me up. And you guys seem to really like when I tell stories about me being like a dumb idiot, which is pretty frequently. So this is gonna be just like a few different stories of times that I've left the country with this boy or the other boy. We don't talk about the other boy. And I'm just gonna, tell you them. And it's gonna be awkward because I'm gonna relive these moments. And they were pretty awkward moments. I also have my trusty red shell next to me. Don't get in front of me. You know what happens when you get in front of me? So just think about that when you start to write a hate comment. Just remember I have my red shell. Anyway, I'm so annoying today. So I've gone to 3 different countries with the boy, and they were Canada, Mexico, and Taiwan. So I've gone to Canada a few times to go to Vernal Equinox. Good con, it's really fun. And every time I've gone to Canada, I've driven or been in a car. Like I've never flown to Canada, I've always driven. So I've been to Canada with my Fursuit, I think 4 times, and literally 3 out of the 4 times, we gift search. I don't know why. Is it really that suspicious to have like 8 suitcases for 2 people in your car? Like, I don't know. So the first time we ever got stopped, I was with Mark Sparks and Nikki, 2 of my good friends. I remember it because it was like my first time ever leaving the country. Like I got my passport for this con. It was FE 2017 and I was like excited and I was like really nervous to go over the border because I heard horror stories of them going through like your phone and stuff. I was telling Mark to tell them it's a mascot convention because if you say furry to a immigration agent or whatever, I feel like they're just not gonna really understand what you're saying and they're gonna question you. But if you say mascot, which is true, then they might be more like, oh, that's kind of cool, like, oh, have fun in our country, yeah, go ahead. So I was like, make sure you say it's a mascot con, it's a mascot convention. It is a mascot convention. Or you can say it's an art convention, because those are both pretty accurate. So we go through the border and first thing is Mark has an ID that is from a different state from his car's license plate, and then I have an ID from a different state from Mark, and then Nikki had an ID from a different state from all of us. So we all had 3 different state IDs, and then we were in a car that was not any of those. So I think that's why we got searched, but it also could be because they asked where we were going and Mark said a furry convention. What did I just tell you? So anyway, we get stopped, we pull up, they tell us to go to parking spot number 4. I remember number 4 very well. Oh wait, 4. Number 4. So we get there and they ask us to step out of the car. They start going through our car and they're like unzipping our suitcases. And all of our furry stuff is like hidden in like bags and suitcases and stuff. So they open it and they just see just like a fur just everywhere, all of our bodysuits, all our heads, and they pull them out and they set them like on top of our luggage. One of the immigration officers walks up to us and says, so which one's yours? And then I remember Mark goes, oh, that one right there, the white and blue one. And the immigration officer was like, what is it? Mark was like, it's a husky. And then I was like, mine's a fox. And they were like, okay. And then they put all of our stuff back and zipped our stuff up and said, have a nice time in Canada. It was just really awkward because it wasn't like that bad. They just wanted to make sure that we weren't like bringing stuff that we shouldn't be into the country, because when you have 3 people in a car, usually you don't have like more than 1 suitcase per person. So another time I went to Canada, more recently, which was FE this year, we get stopped. Again, normal procedure at this point, like I'm kind of used to it because every time I go to Canada, they want to look up the furries. I thought it would be good to put the fursuit heads like visible. Don't put them in a bag, like put them on top of your luggage, sticking out the window basically. So if you just look in the window, you see the fursuit head. I thought that would be a good idea because if I say we're going to a mascot convention, they'll be like, oh, there's the mascot head. They're not lying, that's where they're going. So we did that. I remember Kiwi was like, they asked where we're going. Kiwi was like, oh, we're going to a mascot convention. You can see the heads, they're in the back seat. The guy looks in the back seat and then he's like, you can pull over there and they'll have a look. And I was like, why? How do we win? How do we win? This time we get out of the car and they take our phones from us and they search our car, they just find furry stuff. Like, what are they gonna do? Say like, oh, you can't be a furry in Canada? No, you can be a furry in Canada. But they take our phones, they make us unlock it, and then they're like, is there anything that I should be worried about? And I was like, No? So they looked through my photos, they looked through Kiwi's photos, and they looked through Kiwi's photos for like a lot longer than they looked through mine. Like the guy took like 20 seconds and then was done. But they looked through Kiwi's photos, they give us our phone back, so they're like, alright, you can go. And I was like, okay. I realized that I had something very weird in my phone gallery. This is really weird to talk about. Remember, this is a story of me being a stupid idiot. A couple nights before FE, I went on my high school's website and downloaded all of the photos of my teachers. I know that sounds weird, but let me elaborate. So I downloaded these photos because I was sending them to my old high school friends like, remember Mr. Doofenshmirtz? Remember? Yeah. It was literally just that. Like, it literally was just like sending photos of our teachers from my old high school friends, and we were like laughing about it, like, oh my god, I remember that one time in that one class that this happened. But I didn't delete the photos, so I just had 10 headshots of random adults in my phone gallery. Which looks really weird. It looks really weird. I don't know what they thought. Clearly, I didn't seem like a threat, but that just seems a little suspicious if you ask me. I'm a dumb idiot. We've gathered that. We know that.
So I forgot to mention that when we got back into the car, we had to immediately get out of the car because I noticed that they had put our fursuit heads under our suitcases. So our fursuit heads were literally being squished in the trunk of my car, and I was like not about that. So we immediately jumped out and opened the trunk and put the heads back where they were, and I was so worried that it was gonna like ruin my head, but it didn't, so it's all good.
So I went to Mexico with my friends Foxamore and Dixie and Paco and Ed and Kurt. We met up with Paco, Ed, and Kurt in Mexico, but I flew with Fox and Dixie, and I brought my fursuit head because while I was in Mexico, Paco wanted me to be on a podcast that he's a part of, and I was like, heck yeah, like I gotta do that. And it was really cool, like I was talking in English to the podcast and he was translating it all to Spanish. So anyway, I brought my fursuit head. And so we go through the Mexican customs. I flew in this time, I didn't drive. We go through Mexican customs, and there's a button that you push. And if you push the button and it lights up green, you can go through, like you're good. If you push the button and it lights up red, you've been randomly selected to be searched. Congratulations. Dixie pushes it, it's green. Fox pushes it, it's green. I push it. Guess what color it was? I don't have a green shell with me, do I? So I push the button and it's red, and they bring me to this table, and they're speaking to me in Spanish, so I don't know what they're saying. And they realize I don't speak Spanish, like, after a couple sentences, like, pretty quickly, and they start just pointing at stuff. So they're pointing at my bag, they're pointing at the table, so I put my bag on the table. They put it through, like, an x-ray. After it goes through the x-ray, another agent opens the bag, and just sees a fursuit head, because that's all that was in the bag. The only thing that was in that bag was my fursuit head. I remember I saw Fox and Dixie standing through like a glass door that you go through after you clear customs, and they're just laughing at me. The immigration officer who opens it also starts laughing and calls his colleagues over, and it's like, come here, and they all look at it and they all chuckle at me and then hand me my bag, and then I leave. So awkward. Why am I so awkward? The last country that I went to Taiwan for Infernity, like back in October, and it was really fun. I had a really good time. Going into the country, I had no issues, but when I was leaving the country to go back to the US, they were searching everyone's hand luggage. Like, it wasn't just like it wasn't like a random thing. They were literally just opening everyone's bags and then looking in and then letting people go on the plane. So I bring up my bag, this nice lady opens it, she looks at it, and then closes it and gives it back and says, have a nice day. So I just want to say thank you to Taiwan for not laughing at me for being a furry. I just think it's so funny that Taiwan was the country that just was like, all right, this is cool. And that's all the times I've been through customs and had my head looked at. I'm sure it won't be the last, and I'll let you guys know how that goes in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed these stories. I'd love telling you guys about me being a dumb, awkward idiot, so I'll definitely do that more. And also, I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch tonight. If you're watching this video as it is released, the day it is released, I will be streaming on Twitch tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be playing some Ori in the Blind Forest with my friend 12 on Discord. He's going to be narrating. It's going to be super fun. Definitely check it out. I'm streaming on Twitch more. Make sure you follow me on there. Alright, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.
Pineapples and the strawberry shortcake. sake. I should be shaken, but for him I don't bat an eye. How could he leave all of that fresh meat on a shelf? I guess he's eating fruit cups, only fruit cups, and he's all